r. So here is the cylinder. Radius is r, smaller. Find the curvature radius trajectory traced out by point A and B. So in this case, you can see that radius is how much? Smaller, given in the question. So we have to find the curvature radius trajectory. That means when we are in the ground frame, this is rolling, rotating, as well as moving in this direction, horizontal direction. If you are in this center, then you can see that the radius of trajectory of the point A and B is how much? Smaller. Because for you, A and B are moving in this circle, as you are in the center of that circle. But if you are in the ground frame, then as it is purely rolling without slipping, that means the acceleration with which it is moving in this direction is w, as well as the angular velocity is how much? Omega, with which it is rotating. It is rotating as well as moving in horizontal plane. That means for us, for the person who is in the ground frame, the radius of the trajectory traced out by point A and B we have to derive. Okay, so as you have seen in the question 52 and 53, this is moving in this direction with w acceleration. That means after a particular time, the velocity is how much? V. As it is purely rolling without slipping, that means the tangential velocity with which the O is moving in this direction is how much? V. Because this point, the point of contact is here O, that means the point of contact has to be at rest. So this must be equal to this V. This is omega r, because V is equal to omega r. For pure rolling, we know V must be equal to omega r, as this point has to be at rest. Point of contact must be at rest for rolling without slipping. Okay, as V is equal to omega r, we have seen also that A is moving in this direction with how much velocity? V plus omega r. As V is equal to omega r we have derived, then this will be how much? 2V. That is, the center of mass velocity is in this direction, so A is moving in this direction with V velocity. Again, the tangential velocity with which it is moving in this direction is how much? Omega r. But from this condition we have seen that V is equal to omega r. That means it is also moving in this direction with 2V. For this B point, we have seen that V is the center of mass velocity is in this direction, and the tangential velocity, that is omega r, is in this direction. V is equal to omega r means this is also V. The resultant velocity which the V is experiencing is how much? Root 2V. And if you consider this angle theta, then theta is how much? Tan theta is V divided by V. That is 1. So theta is how much? Pi by 4 or 45 degree. Okay. So we have to derive the trajectories traced by the point A and B. Radius of that trajectory. Radius of trajectory means what? If a point is moving, let us say point is moving in this trajectory, and you have to derive at a particular point. At this point, the radius. Then how can you derive? Simply draw a circle at that point, and you have to derive the radius of that circle. This is the radius of trajectory we have known. So for A point, we have seen that the total velocity is in which direction? Horizontal direction, and how much is it? 2V. For centripetal acceleration, if you consider this cylinder, that is the centripetal acceleration for every point is how much? Omega square r. Okay. So this will be how much? V divided by r whole square into r. That means this is v square divided by r. For pure rolling, v is equal to omega r. So in place of omega square, we can put v square divided by r square. Centripetal acceleration is how much? Omega square into r. That means this is v square divided by r. For the ground frame, the radius of trajectory faced by the point A is how much? That is A is equal to velocity that the point A is experiencing divided by radius of curvature. As the total velocity is in this direction, that means the radius is how much here? VA is how much here? 2V. So this is 4V square divided by centripetal acceleration. This point has tangential acceleration also and the center of mass acceleration also. But you have to consider this centripetal acceleration because you have to derive the trajectory, radius of trajectory. So for this point, the centripetal acceleration is along this direction. So for this point, the centripetal acceleration is how much? V square divided by r. So this is 4r. Okay. Next, you have to consider the B point. In B point, you see that the resultant velocity is in which direction? Root 2b along this direction. That means if you are observing the cylinder from ground frame, this B is making trajectory like this, where the resultant velocity is how much? Root 2b. If you consider this is at B point, the resultant velocity with which the B is moving is root 2b and this is in this direction as observed by the ground frame. Okay? So, draw a circle at this point. We have to derive the radius of curvature, this radius. That means for this case, the circle is like this. Okay? And this is the resultant velocity which B is experiencing as seen by ground frame. Okay? So for this point, the centripetal acceleration, the acceleration towards the center is in which direction? Perpendicular to it. Perpendicular to this resultant velocity. That means in this direction. We have to derive the radius of trajectory traced out by point A and B. That means for this B point, we have seen that the resultant velocity is along this direction. How much is it? Root 2b. Where the trajectory traced out by the point G is like this. Where the resultant velocity is in this direction. This point has also tangential acceleration, centripetal acceleration, as well as this acceleration, the center of mass acceleration. But you have to consider only the centripetal acceleration. Why? Because you have to consider the radius of trajectory. Okay? So, centripetal acceleration is perpendicular to this velocity. That means perpendicular to this velocity. This angle is 45 degree. That means this, if this is called C dash, then C dash B and let us say this is called B dash. C dash B dash is 90 degree. B dash is 5 by 4, 45 degree. That means this angle is how much? 45 degree. As this angle is 45 degree, that means this angle is also 45 degree. For this circle, the centripetal acceleration is how much? Omega square into r. That is v square divided by r. For this circle, the centripetal acceleration is how much? Along this direction. And this is v square divided by r. So, the centripetal acceleration is in this direction for this circle and this is v square divided by r. Okay? But we have to consider this acceleration, not this acceleration. This centripetal acceleration we have to consider because we are in ground frame and we have to derive the radius of trajectory traced out by point A and B. For point B, this acceleration is important now. That is centripetal acceleration for ground frame. So the component of this v square by r along this direction is how much? This angle is 45 degree. Means the component of this v square by r in this direction is how much? V square by r cos 45 degree. Okay? So this is the centripetal acceleration experienced by point B as seen from ground frame. Okay? So centripetal acceleration of B, that is the acceleration toward the center of B is how much? V square divided by radius of curvature. So RV is how much now? VB is equal to the resultant velocity is how much? Root 2 into V. So this is root 2 into V whole square divided by centripetal acceleration is how much now? V square divided by R cos 45 degree. That is The component of this v square by r along this direction is v square by r cos 45 degree. So this is how much? V square divided by r 1 by root 2, that is cos 45 degree. So this is 2v square divided by v square by r into 1 by root 2. V square cancel out and this is 2 root 2 into r. The curvature that you have trajectory traced out by point A is how much? 4r and B is how much? 2 root 2r. You have to understand now, if you are in this center, then you can see that okay, the centripetal acceleration is along this direction and for B the centripetal acceleration is along this direction. As you are in the ground frame and you are observing this cylinder is purely rolling without slipping. That means it is rotating in this direction also as well as moving in horizontal direction. That means it has made some trajectory like this. Point B has some trajectory like this and point A has some trajectory like this. But you can see that the resultant velocity of this point A is how much? 2b along this horizontal direction, and you have to find the radius of curvature of A. That is the curvature at your trajectory traced out by point A. That means the centripetal acceleration is along perpendicular to this velocity. So this is omega square into r, we know, that is v square divided by r. But for point B, you can see that the tangential velocity is along this direction and the center of mass velocity is along this direction. The resultant velocity is along this direction. So the trajectory is like this. As you have to consider the point B and radius of curvature, then this is the radius of curvature traced out by point B. There are also 3 accelerations at point B, but you have to consider only the acceleration towards the center because you have to derive the radius of trajectory. So the component of v square by r along this direction is how much? V square by r cos 45 degree, and you have put this and you have get 2 root 2 into r. Okay. So the next question is, two solid bodies rotate about a stationary mutually perpendicular intersecting axis with constant angular velocities omega 1 is equal to 3 radian per second and omega 2 is equal to 4 radian per second. Find the angular velocity and angular acceleration of one body relative to other. That means we have to derive the relative angular velocity and relative angular acceleration. Okay. So let us say the first solid body is rotating in xy plane. As this is rotating in xy plane, then the axis will be in which direction? Z direction. That is perpendicular to this board. Okay. Next, the second body is, let us say, rotating in y and z plane. If the second body is rotating in yz plane, that means the axis is in which direction? X direction. So omega 1 vector is how much? Omega 1 into k cap, that is it is rotating in xy plane along z direction. So this is omega 1 vector is equal to omega 1 magnitude into direction is k cap, and omega 2 vector is omega 2 magnitude and the direction is how much? X, that is it is rotating in yz plane and the direction is along I cap. Every vector has particular magnitude and direction. So this is the vector, this is magnitude and this is direction. Okay. So it is saying that about a stationary mutually perpendicular intersecting axis. That means x and z are mutually perpendicular as well as intersecting axis. Okay. So first we have to derive the relative angular velocity. That means omega 1 2 vector. So omega 1 2 vector is how much? Omega 1 vector minus omega 2 vector. The modulus of this velocity is how much? Omega 1 square plus omega 2 square square root, because this and this is perpendicular direction. That is k cap is perpendicular to I cap. Z axis and x axis is mutually perpendicular. So I can write it omega 1 square plus omega 2 square square root. So omega 1 is how much? 3 square plus omega 2 is 4 square, 5 radian per second. The relative angular velocity is 5 radian per second. Next we have to derive the relative angular acceleration. Relative angular acceleration means what? We are in one frame, that is we are not in the ground. we are in one body frame and observing other body. That means the angular acceleration or angular velocity of the other body with respect to the first body. Okay, if you are in the first body frame, then you are observing the second body or the other body in which angular velocity it is rotating or in which angular acceleration it is rotating. So here the angular acceleration, how can we derive? Simply to the differentiation of this velocity vector, angular velocity with respect to time. So d omega 1 2 divided by dt is how much? D by dt of omega 1 vector minus d omega 2 vector divided by dt. So omega 1 vector is how much? Omega 1 into k cap. That means d by dt of omega 1 into k cap. But in the question it is given that constant angular velocities, that means omega 1 and omega 2 are constant. That means omega 1 I can take outside. D by dt of omega 1 into k cap. Omega 1 I can take outside. So it will be how much? Omega 1 into d k cap divided by dt minus omega 2 into d I cap divided by dt. You can understand now why I am taking outside omega 1 and omega 2, because they are constant. So let us take the first case where the solid body is rotating in xy plane along z axis. Okay. So this is x and this is y, and the solid body is rotating along this direction along z axis. Let us say after dt time. Let us say after dt time, the x axis has shifted to this direction and y axis is shifted to this position. Okay. Let us say it has made d theta angle to the original x axis, and this is how much? D I cap vector, because this is I cap direction. I cap is the unit vector along x direction. So this is how much in dt time? This is how much? I cap plus d I cap. So this vector is how much? D I cap now. Similarly in dt time, this y axis has also shifted. Let us say d theta angle. This is d theta angle, means this is also d theta angle. So this vector is how much? J cap is the unit vector along positive y axis. So this is how much? J cap plus dj cap. So the shifting vector is how much? dj cap. That is, this vector is dj cap. And if you can see, di cap is, this is moving in this direction, means the shifting is di cap, means the direction is how much? Parallel to j cap. Similarly in case of dj cap, the direction is how much? dj cap is parallel to minus I cap. That is, I cap is the unit vector along positive x direction. So this is minus I cap, and d I cap is parallel to j cap. Here you can see. Okay. And if you consider the z axis direction, we know that this is moving along z axis. That means there will be no displacement along z axis, because the axis is z axis. That is, it is moving in xy plane but along z axis. That is, it is moving in xy plane along z axis. That means there will be no shifting of z axis in dt time. Only the shifting of x axis and y axis occurs. So this is di cap vector, this is dj cap vector. So in this case, this is x dash, this is, let us say this is O. But this triangle, this is 90 degree. So d theta angle is how much? This distance divided by this distance. Let us say the magnitude of this di cap vector is ds. Let us consider the magnitude of di cap vector is ds. Let us consider this. Okay, let us assume this. So d theta angle is how much? This is 90 degree, means d theta is how much? ds, that is the magnitude of this di cap vector divided by this distance. This distance means I cap. I cap is the unit vector. So magnitude of I cap, magnitude of I cap is what? 1. So from this we have derived d theta is equal to ds. d I cap is parallel to j cap, we know. d I cap is parallel to j cap, we have derived. That means d I cap divided by dt is also parallel to j cap. Similarly, d j cap is parallel to minus I cap. d j cap divided by dt is also along minus I cap direction. If we divide dt, then there will be no change, and we know that along the axis there is also no displacement, that is d k cap divided by dt is equal to 0. So d k cap divided by dt is equal to 0 vector. No displacement along the axis because the body is rotating in xy plane but along the z axis. Okay, so when it rotates there will be no change of z axis. Okay, so omega 1 into d k cap divided by dt, d k cap divided by dt is equal to 0, we have direct. So this term is 0 minus omega 2 into d I cap divided by dt. If you see here, the magnitude of d I cap is how much? ds. That means d I cap vector is how much? ds into j cap. Because we know that a vector has magnitude as well as direction. Particular vector has, any of the vector has magnitude and direction. So in this case, the magnitude we have considered ds and the direction is along which? J cap direction, parallel to j cap direction. So d I cap is equal to ds into j cap. That means d I cap divided by dt. d I cap divided by dt, we can write ds by dt into j cap. Put this here. That is, this is alpha 1 2 vector is equal to minus omega 2 into d I cap divided by dt is equal to, put this here, d I cap divided by dt means ds by dt into j cap. From this case we also derive d theta is equal to ds. D theta is equal to ds means minus omega 2 d theta divided by dt into j cap. We have considered here the fast body case. That means for the fast body it is rotating with omega 1 is equal to 3 radian per second. So it is rotating with omega 1 is equal to 3 radian per second. We know that angular velocity is equal to how much? D theta divided by dt. For this case, for this xy plane and the fast body case, d theta divided by dt is equal to how much? Omega 1. Okay, but here we have to calculate the magnitude. So magnitude of this means alpha 1 2 is equal to omega 1 into omega 2. Omega 1 is equal to how much? 3 into 4 is equal to how much? 12 radian per second square. Okay, so we have derived here the relative angular velocity, that is 5 radian per second, and relative angular acceleration, that is 12 radian per second square. Okay, now you have understood the solution. So this is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.